Big news out of Chicago breaking. The Chicago White Sox have released former Cy Young winner Dallas Keuchel. News breaking just minutes ago on Twitter from the reliable sources. And it's very, very interesting news. We'll get into all of it here, breaking down what and potentially the next steps here for Dallas Keuchel here on Bleacher Brawls. So obviously, Keuchel getting DFA'd is massive news, massive news. And I doubt he'll be claimed on waivers. I think 18 million this year just doesn't make sense at all to keep him if he's going to pitch like he has been. And also, too, it doesn't make sense if he's going to cost that much to claim him if he's off waivers. Obviously, won a Cy Young with Houston in 2015. He's been a multiple-time All-Star, two-time All-Star. He's got a bunch of gold gloves. He's got, 5 gold gloves on the pitcher spot. But the last couple of years has been rough for him. 2020, the first year the White Sox signed him after his year in Atlanta in 2019. 1.99 ERA in the shortened 2020 season, finished 5th in Cy Young voting. A very good year, a 3.08 FIP, 2.24 ERA plus. Big year from Dallas Keuchel. However, things started to turn in 2021 for the worse. A 5.28 ERA in 32 games, only 30 of them start, so he didn't even start every game he appeared in. He had it, so 5.28 ERA, a 5.23 FIP, and only an 83 ERA plus, and a WHIP of a 1.53 compared to the 1.08 he had in 2020. Massive differences, massive, and that was his highest career WHIP since 2013, which was his second year in the league. He had a rough year, was walking a lot of guys, not necessarily striking out a lot of guys. And it didn't get much better this year. Didn't get better this year. 32 innings this year, 8 starts. That's only 4 innings to start. A 7.88 ERA, a FIP of 6.20, a 49 ERA plus, a 2.15 WHIP, and he had a strikeouts per 9 of only 5.6, but a walks per 9 also at 5.6. Gave up 6 homers in 32 innings. It just was not there this year. Just wasn't there. Really, it just wasn't there for Keuchel this year. He had a very rough year this year and last year. This year, overall, it has not been a good year at all. At all. He's already got a negative 0.4 WAR this year. And for the White Sox, you might as well just, release him. He's not doing you any good at all. It's it's a rough year for Keuchel. And you look at his season, and this season was on pace to be the worst season of his career. He's not getting any younger. He's now 34 years old. Could he potentially maybe be a sneaky pickup from a team who's going to be in the playoffs? Maybe, but it's going to be rough to me. It seems like it's going to be rough to get anything of significance out of him, even though he's a former Cy Young winner, even though he's a 2-time All-Star. I just don't think there's enough there to get enough out of him. I really don't. Yes, he won a Cy Young. He's a bigger name, somewhat bigger name because of that. But you look at it, his career ERA is a 3.86, and his career FIP is a 3.97. He hasn't been some crazy, ridiculous, pitcher. It's not like he's been ridiculous. He had that very, very strong 2015 that won him a Cy Young. But besides that, he's only got 2 other years with the ERA below 3, and both of them were in the 290s. Every other year, the lowest ERA that he's had is a 3.74 and 3.75. Obviously, he had the 1.99 in 2020. That's a shortened season, so I'm not really counting that. But he had that, that 4-year stretch. That 3 of those 4 years, he was very good. But after that, it just hasn't been there. it just really just hasn't been there. There's nothing else you can say about it. Keuchel just hasn't had it going for him. And when not only your FIP is a 620 this year, when your expected FIP is a 5.3, a 530, that's like, it's just not going to cut it. I don't care if you're Dallas Keuchel, some rookie coming up from AAA, or your name's Jacob DeGrom. If your numbers are that bad, you're not good enough to play at the big league level. At least right at this moment, he's not. Could he maybe turn it around? Maybe if he signs with another team, less pressure on him. Who knows? Maybe. You never know what could happen. I just don't see a real, possibility for Keuchel. I mean, I would expect some team to pick him up. I just don't know what it's going to look like if someone picks him up. I know the Red Sox could use a starter because I would personally want Whitlock in the bullpen, but okay, that's doesn't really solve a problem. Now you have a bad starter, and then when Sale gets healthy and Paxton get healthy, now okay, you don't need him anymore, so it's a waste. I would figure that he maybe could find a home somewhere. I just don't know where that somewhere would be, especially if he wants to be on a good team. I just don't know where that somewhere will be. It would have to be a team that's having injury problems in the rotation. I can't necessarily think of one off the top of my head that's having long-term injury problems. So it's gonna be, and the Red Sox too. Red Sox side of things, they have Winkowski making his MLB debut today. There's a couple other guys in AAA that maybe you could see this year. So the Red Sox don't really need him. The first thing I saw when I saw, there's a guy out there in the market for the Red Sox, but you look at it, it's just no, it doesn't make sense. Especially with the guys in AAA, it just doesn't make sense for the Red Sox. It's not going to make sense for a lot of teams. And that's where I get held up on Keuchel. He's had a very, productive career so far. I mean, it's not to knock his career. He's had a good career. He's won a Cy Young. He's 2 All-Star games, 5 Gold Gloves at the pitcher spot, and he won a World Series. I mean, there's not too much you can go and say, oh yeah, he's had a bad career. No, he's had a good career. He's been in the majors for a long time now. I think how much service time does he have? His 9 year, just over 9 years of service time. That's, he's almost at the 10-year service time. It's a successful career, regardless of how good or bad. If you can get set in 10 years, almost 10 years in the big leagues, you've had a good career. Keuchel has had a good career. I just don't know where it's going to go from now. I hope for him he has success, because when he's on, he's a very good pitcher, but he's going to have to figure some things out to get to that point. Where he's going to go, who knows, but he will most likely have free choice, because I doubt anyone's going to claim him off of waivers. But who knows, maybe he'll find a nice home, a nice landing spot for him. If he doesn't, and this is it for Dallas Keuchel, like I said, it's a good career for him. Best of luck in retirement. And, we can always go back and say, hey, I won a Cy Young, I won a World Series. The 2 top achievement, the MVP for the pitcher and the winning a title. Those are 2 highest achievements for a pitcher, besides obviously winning the actual MVP, which is super rare. So all in all, a very good career for Keuchel. If this is it, good career. If not, hopefully he can latch on with another team and figure some stuff out and get it going. But that's going to wrap this up here on Bleacher Brawls. Thanks for checking it out. Hopefully Keuchel can find a home. I personally really hope he does. Make sure to check out all the links in the description, the Twitter, Instagram, podcast, website, all the crew's Twitters are down there in the description. Make sure to check out our previous videos, our prospect pipelines, our Red Sox game recaps, and all the other videos that we've been doing. Make sure to check all those out. Check out our Twitters for if we do Twitter spaces. May do one at some point this weekend. Who knows? So just follow us on Twitter, and stay updated, so you can stay updated for when we do these Twitter spaces, because we'd like to get some people in there and have some conversation, go our Bleacher Brawls community. And this isn't just going to be a channel, this is going to be a brand, a community, and we want you guys to be involved in it. But thanks for checking it out. My name is Derek. You're watching Bleacher Brawls. Hopefully Keuchel can find a home. But that's it. It's going to wrap it up, and see you next time.